Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn some basic terms of continuous frequency table. And as we have already seen in our previous lecture that how you can make a continuous frequency table. But today we have some terms related to the continuous frequency table. Like you have to compute the class boundaries, class marks or midpoints, frequency and cumulative frequency of the given data. I have not written the data here or the example here, as we have already learned that how you can make the continuous frequency table. But once you have got the table, then how you can get the values of how you can get the values of the given terms, that is class boundaries, class marks and cumulative frequency. So for that purpose I have made a table in which I have already calculated the class limits of a certain data, of which the minimum value is 21 and the maximum value is 45, and the class and the size of the class is 5, and the number of groups made are also 5. So we have made the class limits. So if it will not be wrong also that if I write the frequency as well, that is that how many times the given number exists in the given class. So if I can also write the frequency as 6, 11, 14, 8 and 1. So don't need to get confused about the data that I have already written. These are the data, these are the things that we have already discussed, and understand that how you can calculate the frequency and the class limits. Now from these two things we can find the class boundaries, class mark, that is the midpoint, and the cumulative frequency. Now what is class boundary? Class boundary basically separates the two classes. So, and how you can calculate the class boundaries? So before that you must have the concept of lower and upper class limit. So here this is the lower limit and this is the upper limit. So you can say that the minimum value of the of one interval is the lower class limit, and the maximum value is the upper class limit. Now keeping these two in mind, we can find the class boundaries that actually separate the two classes. So class boundary is basically the midpoint of one class and the lower class limit of the subsequent class. So besides its definition, you just in order to memorize it, you just need to have a shortcut, that is just subtract 0.5 from the lower class limit and add 0.5 to the upper class limit to get the class boundaries. So here we have the class boundaries as 21.5. So here we have the class limits as you have to subtract 0.5 from the lower class limit and add 0.5 to the upper class limit. So these are the class boundaries of the first interval. Similarly, you can also find the class boundaries of the other intervals as 25.5 to 30.5, then 30.5 to 35.5, then 35.5 to 40.5, and then 40.5 to 45.5. So this is how you can calculate the class boundaries. You just need to subtract 0.5 from the lower class limit and add 0.5 to the upper class limit. This is the shortcut. Otherwise its actual definition is it is the midpoint of the upper class limit of one class and the lower class limit of the subsequent class. So in such a way you can easily find the class boundaries, but here we have done the shortcut one. Now what is class mark? Class mark is basically the midpoint of the class limits. Then in order to find the midpoint, you just need to add the upper and lower class limit and divide it by 2. So 21 plus 25 divided by 2 is equals to 46 by 2, that is equals to 23. Then we have 26 plus 30 divided by 2, that will be equal to 28. Then we have 31 plus 35 divided by 2 is equals to 33. Then we have 36 plus 40 divided by 2 equals to 38. And the last is 41 plus 45 divided by 2 is equals to 43. So this is how you can calculate the class mark or midpoints of the given class limits. Then here comes the, as we have already calculated the frequency. Frequency is the number of occurrences in certain interval. So in such a case we have already written the frequency, that how many number falls in the first class limit. But what if I ask you to calculate the cumulative frequency? So cumulative frequency refers to the total of the frequency up to any class, up to any upper class limit. What does it mean? It means first of all we have the cumulative frequency as it is 6 because we don't have any other frequency before that. Then what is next? Next is the cumulative frequency can be found by adding the previous frequency into the current. 11 plus 6 equals to 17. Then in this we have to add the previous one as 14 plus 17 equals to 31. Then we have to add 31 to the next one. 31 plus 8 is equals to 39. Then we have to add 39 to 1. 39 plus 1 equals to 40. So we have the cumulative frequency at the end 40. So this is how you can calculate the class boundaries, class mark, and the cumulative frequency. If you're given with the continuous data, then you can easily find these terms of continuous frequency by using this method. So that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you.